Hello musici, in this video let's study and analyze this chorale by Pachelbel. One more time, Ach Gott vom Himmel sieh, darein, the second part, the second chorale, the most complete one, because the first one was merely a little prelude intonation. Okay, now this is very interesting because we have a first section with the imitations based on the melody on the chorale, and the second part starting from this point where we have the writing chorale, where we have the full chorale melody in the soprano. And so let's go through this piece and let's study it. Let's have a setting which can be something like this. So on this keyboard, something from the introduction, the first part. Then when we go to the chorale, we can move on to the other keyboard, adding, for example, another stop, which can be a flute, to that way, and then the pedals this way. Good. And even a 4-foot, not so strong at the end, so a flute is more than enough. Okay, so let's start with the beginning. Let's play it. I can even read it from here in front of me, so it's a little better. Let's move the screen. Perfect. Mi, fa, mi, re, la, sol, fa, mi, fa, mi, re. Then we could continue, but let's see what's happening up to this point. Basically, it's a fugue, and the subject of this fugue is the chorale itself. So, mi, fa, mi, re, la, sol, fa, mi. Then mi at the 5th degree, fa, mi, re, la, sol, fa, mi, this way. So we have an imitation 2 bars plus 2 bars, and the other voice here continues with a very simple counterpoint 5, 3, 3, 3. As you can see, in order to connect the thirds, which are descending down with a stepwise motion, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3. It's a good technique to move 3, 6, 3, 6 and coming back that way. So if you're doing something which is a scale, a descending scale, this is a good technique we can use. And this technique helps us even to solve the problem of parallel fifth, because if we do this, they're parallel fifth, but if we do 8, we pass through the 8, they are not anymore parallel fifth. Or imagine to have another voice. This way we can have a descending scale in the middle and 2 voices. Parallel thirds. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Good. Then 3, as you can see, even here, 3, 6, 3, and then suspension. What happens after the first 2 subjects? We can say there's a little episode where we have 7, 6. So 3, 6, 7, 6, 3, 7, 6, 3. So a sequence. 7, 6, 3, 7, 6, 3, 7. And when we have this note, which is the third imperfect consonants, we rejoin with the subject. Mi in the alto, mi, fa, mi, re, la, sol, fa, mi. This way. And then we continue with the counterpoint. Mi, fa, mi, re, la, sol, fa, mi. What we can see if you analyze this section, let's use another color like green. Da, 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 da. This is not so far from this line we'll find later against the chorale. Mi, fa, mi, re, la, sol, fa, mi. We basically have the same intervals almost, because the green section is the same, transposed a fifth higher in both cases, because we have a sixth here and a sixth here. 6 and 6. Then the, let's say, orange section, do, re, up to this point is the same, just transposed. And we have the same figuration before, even though a little different, because here we have a suspension in the middle, here a suspension in the bass, so a little different, but the same element is then retransposed. By the way, let's continue from this point, from the second line. 4, 3, 3, 5. La, sol, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, mi, fa. And after this, after the subject, a little sequence. La, sol, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, mi. Where in the bass we have la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Something arriving to a cadence to C major, as you can see. Then, after this, a new sequence with 6, 7, 6, 7, 6. And after this sequence, a new subject, in this case in the soprano. So we have the sequence. Fa, sol, la, sol, fa. Then, continuing with the same figuration, now the sequence, it's another 7, 6, 7, 6, but with 3 voices, so 7, 6 for Bourdon, because the middle voice here moves with parallel thirds, as you can see. 7, 6, which becomes 3 because the bass disappears, we have a rest, and then sol, fa, mi, a clausola, do, re, do, fa, mi, re, mi, and then the subject in the bass. By doing this with this phrase, we can say that we are concluding the first exposition with the 4 voices. One, because we can say, oh, even more, we have already completed, because as you can see, actually, bass, this can be the tenor, this can be the alto, and this can be the cantus. Then there is another bass starting with the same note, E, as at the beginning, but this is more the tenor, actually. This is more the tenor, we can say. So the tenor, instead of starting on B as at the beginning, now starts on E. So we can say tenor B. Now tenor is E. Then we have the bass, because the bass, as you can see, appears again this point. Mi, fa, mi, re, la, sol, fa, mi. The bass starting on B. Then we'll have another subject, let's say other 2 expositions. So mi, fa, mi, re, la, sol, fa, mi, and another one here. Mi, fa, mi, re, la, sol, fa, mi. Where the very interesting thing is that here the alto starts on E, while before the alto started on, okay, the alto started on the same note, E. Then the soprano started on C. Now the soprano, we can say that starts on E. Indeed, we have an octave difference instead of a fifth. Can be. And we can even notice how this section, it's nothing more than a transposition of this section at the end. They're very similar. We have the same elements. Now, what we can say is that we have two complete expositions. So two expositions where the voices for two times show the subject. This is important because it is something we can develop with any other subject of a chorale. For example, we are studying many chorales. Let's take let's take let's take another chorale here. Nope, not this book. This other one. We have studied this in the other video, number 11. Re, mi, fa, fa. The melody is really short. Let's take another melody which is longer. This one. Fa, 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 re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, fa. And the other fa can be at the fifth degree. Fa, 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 re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re. So fa, 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 re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, 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 re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, de, do, re, fa, 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 re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, fa, fa, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And what we didn't do is a sequence in the middle. So fa, 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 re, mi, fa, sol, fa, 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 fa. But in this case, we cannot resolve the dissonance. So fa, fa, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi, fa, fa, fa. Fa, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, mi, do, mi, da, da, da. Then fa, 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 re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re. Fa, 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 re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re. Fa, fa, re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Fa, 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 re, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And going on that way, but this is something we'll develop in another time. Another time, putting some sequences in the middle. This is a good thing to do, which is the same form but with another chorale. Now let's come back to our example, because in this video we want to analyze what's happening in this already written composition. And we have played this phrase. So seven, wait, okay, 7 C, cadence, subject in the tenor, mi, fa, mi, la, sol, fa, mi, re, sol, fa, re, la, sol, fa. And here the very first cadence, very first important cadence at the end, with which is deceptive, but with a double cadence figuration. There is another cadence actually with a double cadence figuration that we can see here, even if it continues. I mean, this point there is the voice is stopped and only the bass and the tenor continue the speech. Now, let's see. Oops. No. No. Come on. Okay. Then pa pa pam pa pa pam pam. Fa sol mi. Subject in the alto, mi fa mi re la sol fa mi fa sol la fa mi fa mi. Something very interesting that we can see is this kind of prener at the end of the subject, which concludes the phrase sol fa mi la re, which even reminds the second part of the second phrase of the chorale. Sol fa mi re, sol fa mi re, sol fa mi re. Sequence. And now the last two entries, which are here. Mi, fa, mi, re, la, la, sol, fa, mi, and mi, fa, mi, re, la, la, sol, fa, mi. Very, 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 very low. Probably with the pedal, makes sense, eh? Yes, yes, the pedal makes sense. Then let's continue from the third, from the penultimate entry. Re, la, sol, fa, mi. Re, la, sol, fa, mi, sol, fa. Double cadence evaded. Two evaded double cadences. The first one is double cadence to A, then evaded. The second one is a double cadence to D, evaded. And we start the chorale with a 6/4/2 harmony. Mi, and now the chorale has longer notes, so long note, augmentation. Mi. Let's play it. Here is merely counterpoint to continue the speech against the chorale. So we have the chorale in the very top, in soprano. So after our fugue on the first phrase of the chorale, we start to state the entire chorale. Imitations, we can see that between one section and another one, so the chorale, we have some games of imitation. For example, La, sol, fa, mi, sol, fa, mi, re, sol, fa, mi. Then choral. Re, mi, re, do, re, sol, fa, mi, re. First ending. La, sol, fa, re, sol. And notice how it continues. Mi, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, mi, re, mi, fa, mi, re. The voices go that way. So, mi, fa, mi, fa, la, sol, la. Repetition of the first phrase. Mi, fa, mi, re, la, sol, fa, fa, mi, sol, fa, mi, re, sol, fa, mi, sol, fa, mi, re, sol, fa, mi. Second ending, re. Now, before the beginning of the second part, re, na, sol, la, fa, mi, fa, sol, la, fa, mi, fa, we have the sol, la, fa, mi, which is the new phrase. Sol, la, fa, mi, sol, la, fa, mi, re, fa, sol, la. Sol, la, fa, mi. Sol, la, fa, mi. Sol, la, fa, mi. Sol, la, fa, mi. Sol, la, fa, re, mi, fa, re, do, re, so, la, fa, mi, re, fa, sol, la. Very interesting how this note, the fifth degree, so the last note of the phrase becomes the opportunity to do a double cadence. Tam, pa, fa, sol, la. Cadence to E. This. Do, re, fa, mi, do, re, fa, do, re, fa, mi, fa, la, sol, la. Now you have understood the technique. So we anticipate the Cantus Firmus. Do, re, fa, mi. Do, re, fa, mi. And finally, the Cantus Firmus. Let's use red. No, the same color. Do, re, fa, mi, fa, re, do, re. And even the long Cantus Firmus before here. And what happens now? We anticipate again the Cantus Firmus. Re, la, fa, sol. As you can see, re, la, fa, sol, la, re, la, fa, sol. Re, la, fa, sol, re, la, fa, sol, re, la, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, re, la, fa, sol, and finally in the soprano. Okay. Re, la, fa, sol, fa. Parallel thirds. Re, la, fa, sol, cadence. Re, la, fa, fa, sol, la, sol, re, la, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, and the last note of the chorale is taken very long in order to put the final cadence. So this is the organ motet, where we have polyphony, basically polyphony, imitations, entries, and the sequences. And before the entire phrase of a chorale, we have imitations which anticipate the phrase. Let's play this again one more time from the beginning. Then if you want to download this PDF with analysis and many other things, having something every day to learn, new to learn about music composition, join my Patreon page, because this way you can support this project and you have something more, a lot, to study every day. Let's continue. Mi, fa, mi, re, la, sol, fa, mi. sol, fa, mi, And this is our chorale, Ach Gott, number 2 in this collection by Pachelbel. A lot of things to learn, a lot of things then to apply in our improvisations in another context, in another series, because I'm preparing these things for improvisation and composition because they are the same thing, but at the keyboard and on the paper, and they go in parallel. Okay, so when you study composition, you study improvisation. When you study improvisation, you study composition, both. And then here our main purpose consists in analyzing what's happening and how these chorales are composed, because by analyzing these forms we can learn a lot of things, even how to put suspension. There are a lot of little suspension to 3, 7, 6 hidden among the voices. So let's continue our journey together. Do you want to learn how to compose music in the Renaissance or Baroque style? If you are at the beginning of your musical journey, or a professional looking to deepen your knowledge of early music, the best path may be a guided integrated course. Composing in the style of the 16th century or the 17th and 18th century requires much more than knowing harmony and counterpoint. You need to navigate a vast world, including Solmization, Fugue, Cantus, Firmus, Mensural notation, Partimenti, dances, chorales and more. To avoid getting lost, you need an experienced guide, a musicus practicus who knows the path, walks beside you step by step, and helps you overcome each challenge with tailored exercises, attentive feedback, and continuous dialogue. Have a question about a topic? We'll discuss it. Stuck on an exercise? We'll work through it together. Want to go deeper into a subject? We'll tackle it with focus. Every month I accept a limited number of apprentice musicians, like you, for a program of personalized one-to-one lessons, where I guide them in learning to compose in the Renaissance and Baroque style. How it works? During our one-to-one lessons we focus on 2 and 3 voice composition, counterpoint and partimenti, practical exercises on historical style, schemata, cadences, voice leading, models, patterns, and much more. During the week, you'll also follow recorded lessons on repertoire analysis, pattern structure, tones and modes in polyphony, rhythm of historical dances, and everything else you need to progress. This way, each individual lesson becomes focused, effective, and productive. If you'd like to apply for the musical apprenticeship program, go to the link and fill out the form telling me your musical background, studies, experiences, instruments, what you play, your current skill, what you can compose, if you know partimenti, chorales, anything else, and your goals, what you would like to learn in the short, medium and long term. I'll personally read your message and get back to you within 24 hours to let you know how we can work together. Don't miss the spot and learn to compose music as if you had lived in the Renaissance or in the Baroque.